Hey, come on, how are you?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, man.
Now, what do you do in Hollywood? You got an important job.
Well, I have two hats I wear. I've been a scenic artist in the studio film business for over 40 years, working on such films as Blade Runner, Inception, Night and Day. I just finished Batman Superman with Zack Snyder all over the United States. But my pride and joy is doing replicas of the Hollywood Walk of Fame star for the celebrities when they get a star on the Walk of Fame.
And you hand it to them, don't you?
I hand it to them.
And you
yes.
prepare them. You're the authorized official
Exclusive
person.
licensee to make these star replicas for the celebrities.
And we've got one here.
You do.
Who is this one for?
This is for a guy named Paul McCartney. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I
He's in
have.
the Beatles.
He's
he
in
had
the
a lot of fun with that group. They were very popular.
And did all the Beatles get one?
Yes, they did. Unfortunately, John did posthumously, and George Harrison. Then we did Paul's, and then Ringo got one, which was the only night event that we've ever had doing the stars on the Walk of Fame.
And are they all around the same street or
They're
together?
all in front of Capitol Records, all four Beatles. And the Beatles have a star that just has the Beatles names on it.
Let me ask you a hard question.
Sure.
Brian Epstein,
Sure.
did he get one?
I don't think Brian did.
He deserves
no,
one.
I don't think Brian. He does. He kind of put the whole thing together.
He did.
For him.
He was the one that put the pop group all together. And tell me about the process, because this is exactly like the one on the ground, but it's actually miniature.
It's a miniature. It's the only reason why we have this like this is because when a celebrity gets a star, he can't take the concrete home with them. So what I've done is I've created an exact replica that they can take home with them and put on their wall.
And who can we just look at the bottom here? What does that say? Hollywood Walk of Fame presented to Paul McCartney, and it's all the same. The date, the Hollywood Walk, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. Explain to us about the commerce. What's that about?
The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce is the company that hires me, the group that hires me, and they let me know ahead of time when a star is going to get a star on the Walk of Fame. So I put this all together before the ceremony, and then I give it to the Hollywood Chamber, and the Hollywood Chamber presents it to them at the ceremony.
Now, you've also been photographed for the last 30 years with every single recipient of the Hollywood, just about, probably one or two you've missed, but you got all of them.
Most of them, unless I was sick or, asleep.
And who's the most exciting?
This one.
Are you biased because you're a Beatles fan?
Well, not only because I'm a Beatles fan, because as a child in 4th grade, I think I was telling you, I snuck in to see the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl.
And you got caught?
I got caught. I had to spend the whole concert underneath the stadium, but I got to hear them clear as a bell. The following year, they were at Dodger Stadium, and I went and we sat in the dugout seats through a friend of mine's father who was a disc jockey, and I saw them from here to there, but you couldn't hear them because everybody was screaming back then.
Wow.
So one year I heard them, and one year I saw them.
And what do you think made the Beatles so special?
Timing. Yeah, I think it's like...
They had looks too, didn't they?
They had good looks, but their timing was impeccable because everybody was starved because, JFK had just died here. So you were looking for some way to get away from the sadness in the United States. The Beatles came out at the perfect time here to take everybody's mind off it. And I think that's the reason, not only that they're the greatest band that ever lived, but their timing was impeccable, like anybody in show business. Timing's everything.
Can we look at some of the pictures of some of the people you've been with?
Sure.
You've put together a montage there. Explain who some of these people are here.
Well, obviously there's Sir Paul holding his.
Wow, okay.
This was Robin Williams when he got his star on the Walk of Fame. There's Scarlett Johansson.
And Hugh Jackman
Hugh
down
Jackman,
there?
a favorite
Wow.
of mine. And probably, I'll tell you one interesting true story. Out of all these stars that I've done, he's the only celebrity that asked me my name. He said, "What's your name, sir?" And I told him my name. I said, "I got to tell you, you're the very first celebrity that's ever asked me that."
And who? You got some others here?
Oh, there's some of our oldies, big oldies like Joan Rivers here. We're both pretty young right there.
And Chevy Chase?
Chevy Chase, pretty young. Does
George Lucas have one?
George Lucas, I don't think has a star on the Walk
For
of
a
Fame,
director.
but Steven Spielberg does, and I was at that ceremony. There's James Franco, Tom Hanks and I are pretty young right there.
Jack Nicholson, you said, was out of it.
He was, seemed a little hungover, but what do I know? Because I probably was too.
Wow. And tell me something. Has there been any embarrassing moments during these presentations? I mean, obviously you're there to hand the replica, but
the only thing I can remember it was Orlando. Tony Orlando was getting a star on the Walk of Fame.
What year was that?
I don't remember the year. All I remember was about 110 degrees outside, and Dick Clark and Jerry Lewis were standing there, and they were melting. And he gave the longest speech in the history of the Walk of Fame ceremony, and I watched these two guys literally melt. waiting
Wow.
for him to end the ceremony. He just kept talking and talking and talking. So that was probably, and finally Johnny Grant, God bless his soul, got up and said, "You're done. We got to get you out of here. These guys are dying over here." That was probably the most interesting.
So the other thing that I noticed is that a lot of, well, some of them put their handprints.
That's a different deal. That's the Chinese theater, and the handprint thing is totally different than the Walk of Fame.
You're the star man.
I'm the star. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And have a great.
Thanks.
Edward Aiden, Fashion Broadcasting, over and out.